Hey folks, Keylime here with a Challenge Rift 155 guide video and run through. We were able to pull off rank 1 on stream earlier today, which was quite exhilarating considering that this build is incredibly frustrating to play as. This is taking advantage of Natalia's set, which of course is giving you a lot of extra damage as long as your Rain of Vengeance is flying down from the sky, so that is the primary cooldown that you need to keep up. Aside from that, you have your shadow power, your smoke screen here, so this is going to make sure that you take a little less damage as you run through because you're all invisible, super fun. So pop that whenever you're around elite packs for sure. And then aside from that, you want to keep your vengeance up as much as you possibly can, so make sure that that cooldown is also up. As far as the items that this person chose for this build, nothing really makes sense. They're using things that boost skills that you don't have, and they're using weapons that boost powers that you're not using, so it's just a grand old time. You'll notice that all the elites are generally throwing down some AoE. This build has very poor survivability, so you need to make sure that you're constantly moving to take advantage of the Compass Rose and the Traveler's Edge set combo, so that way you're not constantly dying. You do need to make sure that you're dodging all the things that are on the floor, so if you see that they're constantly spawning all of these frozen orbs like this, you need to make sure that you're not in them because you are going to die. And then aside from that, you really just want to be casting your primaries as much as you can in between strafes. You can't strafe infinitely with this build, which is pretty rough, so you do need to make sure that you're constantly keeping that up. But the path that I'm taking here is definitely the most efficient. You run into elites pretty much the entirety of this path, which is great. Also, another note is that as you're taking down elite packs like this, it's hard to really try and put a lot of focus damage on the boss since you're going to be strafing a lot and strafes just hitting everything around. You try and get them in a corner if at all possible, so that way all of your strafe shots, even though they're attempting to hit other people, are going to hit that boss anyway. This path is also taking advantage of all of the pylons that are around. You don't have a flavor of time, so they're not going to last forever, so do make sure you're getting the most out of all the different pylons that you can run into. But definitely make sure that you're also getting as much progression on the way as you can. Something like this when we have the pylon here is we're zapping the crap out of everybody with our conduit. You do need to make sure that you're constantly moving and hitting as many people with that as you can. There's a spot where I took a stutter step off to the left just to get a little more progression. Another nice little benefit that you can do is to make sure that you're dropping your Rain of Vengeance in spots where the enemy is. Since it's a targeted drop with this build, you'll notice that they're dropping grenades all over the place from our little fiery hawk boy. You want to be casting that directly on all the elite packs as you're doing it. Since it's also refreshing your damage buff, that's super important, but every single time you cast that ability, you want to be trying to place it where it matters. And again, you do need to be making sure that you're dodging all of these explosions on the ground because it is a straight up nightmare. This build is, again, incredibly easy to kill. And in this section in particular, it gets especially rough. You'll see that there's a lot of the woolly mammoths that are ready to charge and ruin your life. You need to make sure that you're not lined up to get killed by them. You'll notice that I'm trying to get my rain to drop on them as much as I can, so that way we get the progression out of that. I think in this spot I even turn around to quickly kill one. So you do need to make sure that you're getting as much of those guys as you can. I was able to actually get the Rift Guardian to spawn on this floor, but that's only the case if you're getting as much progression on the way as humanly possible. This little elite pack here is especially annoying. The run up to it has those two mammoths. I've had runs completely ruined by getting jailed and then getting smacked to death. So again, be very, very careful that you're not lining yourself up to get completely obliterated by these guys. At this point, you're able to just grab the speed pylon, run to the final guy, and then from here you should have enough progression that you can actually just spawn the Rift Guardian after this pack. Make sure you kill him and all of his friends. You have the speed pylon, and fortunately you're going to be able to keep the speed pylon up as you're actually fighting the Rift Guardian here. Also incredibly useful since that's going to help us get more attack speed and it's going to help us generate some more. You're doing way more damage when you're strafing, so do make sure that you're strafing around as much as you can. Just stand still to get your primary generated and then strafe around, and you too can knock down that Rift Guardian in sub 5 minutes and potentially even more than that. So that's all I got for you guys in this Challenge Rift video. It is one of the most frustrating ones that we've had in quite a while, but hopefully you can get it down just like you've seen here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a future video.